Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the gnarly gnome. This is the weekly pint. It's the show that's. I wish it was not a show. It's not a show. We'll go back to that. It's the show that is not a show. So that when we're late like this, it's okay because it doesn't really matter. It's not important. it's an excuse for us all to hang out. It's a happy hour. It's a time for us to sit around and commiserate about whatever is happening in our lives, or in craft beer, or in the big world of drinking these days, because there's a lot of different things happening with drinking. It's not just about the simple stuff anymore. It's very complicated. And so is life. And sometimes the show is 20 minutes late because of kids. And so it just happens. So that's why it's the show that's not a show, because then I can get away with it. It is a happy hour, though. It's an excuse for us to hang out together. So tell me what you're drinking, even if what you're drinking is water, because that is okay. Let's see. Marco is having a psychopathy. Elijah says howdy. Elijah is having some high-quality H2O while rocking his 3-month-old to sleep. Julia is having some freshly minted by Northern Row Brewery and Distillery. Everything sounds delicious. Even the high quality H2O sounds good, as long as it's like super cold and like refreshing. That's fine. We do not judge around here. I am about to crack into a beer. Yes, I'm about to crack into this one right here. Let's see. Josh is having Mars Madness from Dogberry, or Dognary, as she has put it. Both great breweries, Dogberry or Dognary. I'm going to crack into one. I got an empty glass, which is never a good thing in this house. Never want an empty glass. And I'm going to dive into a can of Wooden Cask's Winter Ale. It is still appropriate. It is getting up today. It felt colder than it's felt in a long time, even though it's not really colder than it's been in a long time. Full disclosure, I do work with Wooden Cask. They are a client of mine. Not that it changes my opinions or thoughts about their beer. I love what they're doing no matter what, even if we weren't working together. This is a seasonal ale brewed with cinnamon and molasses. And it says, brewed with cinnamon and molasses, is a rich malty aroma and a deep amber color. I'm supposed to pour it into a chilled glass and enjoy. I didn't really chill the glass. I did squirt it out with chilled water. I guess that's technically chilled a little bit from what it was before. We'll accept that I'm probably okay. I won't get in trouble. It's best served at 39 to 45 degrees. I think my fridge out there is around 40, 42 degrees, somewhere around there. So I think I'm okay there. ABV is 7.7. And it is proudly brewed and packaged by Wooden Cask Brewing Company at 629 York Street in Newport, Kentucky. It is brewed with integrity. That's what it says, and I like that. All right. Julia says she fixed it. I just don't get to see the edited version. Yeah, the way my chat is set up, I can't see anything that gets edited. I can't see, like, when you reply to, like, posts. I can't tell what you're replying to. I just see a new post. It's just the way it is. Let's see. Leah's having a Nellie's Frosted Lemon Ale. That sounds good. Elijah says, I don't think it's possible to go wrong with Wooden Cask. I agree. Marco wants to know if I can taste the integrity. I'll tell you in just a minute. We're going to pour it in here. As long as the integrity only comes if you have a chilled glass. If that's the case, then I'm in trouble, because this glass is not chilled. All right. Color's right where they told me it was going to be. It's a nice amber. It's pretty beer. Big, thick, kind of white head on top. I like seeing that. There's such a problem these days with beers that have no head on them, or head that just goes away and just kind of looks flat and ugly. I like seeing that. All right. Let me get my nose in here and tell you what it smells like. Oh, yes. It smells like wintertime. It smells like cinnamon. Definitely cinnamon. Marco says, I always prefer my glass to have no chill. This glass definitely has no chill. It's got an exclamation point and this really grumpy looking gnome on it. He has no chill. Look at him. I definitely smell the integrity. All right, let me taste this here. Oh, it's such good beer. It is delicious. I yeah, cinnamon. There's a lot of cinnamon, but I like that. I like that a lot. It is definitely there's different things that you'll find around kind of with the winter season, different seasonal beers, and this hits kind of right square on all of like the stereotypical winter beer check boxes that I want. It's definitely malty, sweet. That cinnamon comes in right front and center, and it rounds itself out and just leaves a kind of big, sweet, malty beer. It's good. It's actually delicious. It's perfect to round out the evening. We had a huge dinner, and so I'm like stuffed right now, and so this is like a nice little a dessert on top of that. But it's good. If you guys have not been to Wooden Cask lately, make a little note on whatever you make your notes on, and get down to Wooden Cask and try some of their stuff. I don't think this is on tap anymore. Maybe you can still get cans. I don't know. I'll look when I'm there tomorrow, and I'll let you know. But if it is, get some and drink it before it's gone, because it's delicious. There's a bunch of really good stuff down there right now. But this is not about Wooden Cask. This is about the world, the bigger world around us. And we're coming off of a weekend where there was a couple big anniversaries. Oh, for the record, I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe the drunk line is active tonight. I believe, just voice calls still right now. But we are one more step closer to having this kind of new setup figured out to where everything is working the way it's supposed to. But I think it's working. I'm actually only like 15% sure it works. I'm sure that if you call in, we can hear you. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear us. That's kind of where we're at. Why does that button do that now? Oh, man. There's always something going wrong. Always something going wrong. But as I was saying before, we are coming out of a really, really crazy weekend with some good anniversary parties and some really good beers, which I do want to talk about, which actually I guess probably kind of leads into my favorite new segment, the best things that I've been drinking. What I've been drinking. I don't actually know the name of the segment yet. The best things I drank? I don't know. What have I been drinking this week, and what am I really excited about that I've been drinking this week? And most of the things that are popping out in my head are things that I drank this weekend. I did have some great stuff during the week, but this weekend at anniversary parties, I drank some more, a little bit more barley wine. I've been on this weird barley wine kick. That's what I should have opened up tonight, is some more barley wine out of the cellar. I've got some other stuff in there that I stumbled across that I'm kind of curious to see how it's drinking. But I've been drinking a bunch of barley wine lately, and I've realized that I'm kind of, I thought that like in my craft beer journey, I had kind of drifted away from this. So this is a kind of a long thought. This is a long rant here for a second. Christine, I am not going to the Cincy Winter Beer Fest this weekend. We will talk about that in just a minute. But I thought that like at one point as a craft beer drinker, I used to go to the beer store, Jungle Gyms, or wherever it may be, and I would either try to find a new style that I hadn't had before and then buy several of them, or just a style that I had before and fill up a 6-pack of it and just try a bunch of different versions of it. And I thought that like I wasn't doing that anymore. I thought that like and I thought that nobody was really doing that, honestly. I thought that we as craft beer drinkers were chasing this like this constant, just what is the thing I haven't had, and trying something new all the time. And I'm starting to realize that I've never really gone away from that same idea. Like I still kind of hyper focus on beer styles, and I've seen it happen with several of them, be it Belgian styles, earlier this, I guess, was it last fall, and German lagers. I keep going back to that over and over. But then barley wines is kind of that thing over the last month or so here, where I've just been kind of hyper focused on barley wines and trying different versions of barley wine and different people's take on them, and trying to really understand the style. And I think that that's for me, and maybe you can pull something out of this. Not that I'm full of any sage advice or anything, but like this exploration of a certain style, or maybe a certain brewery, or a certain ingredient, or whatever it may be, just kind of this hyper focused exploration of things is really, really fun, and kind of adds this other layer to your beer drinking that I hope people aren't losing sight of as craft beer matures, and as we hopefully mature as craft beer drinkers also. And I've definitely been doing that lately, and barley wine is kind of my kick right now. Let's see. Elijah says, Joe, Caroline, and I worked our way through 6 barley wines on Saturday night. Man, I love that style. I did see some of the pictures from that, and I'm definitely curious to hear that episode, because I'm a huge fan of the style too. It looked like most of the barley wines you had were West Side, or different West Side kind of variants. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Which reminds me, I will get Marco's barley wines to him very soon. And I've got glassware for Julia that I will get to you soon. It's sitting right there. There's a fun story behind that, but I'll tell that some other time. Let's see. Marco wants to know if Elijah loves barley wine more than tying people to train tracks, which is a excuse me, is a joke from a Truth Beer Consquences episode. And Elijah says that may or may not come up in the discussion. I hope it did. Let's see. Elijah says 'tis correct. We mostly worked through some West Side ones. I have no issue with that. West Side has one of the best barley wines, one of the best in the city. There are some good ones. There are definitely some good ones. Brink's got a great barley wine. Obviously, Third Eye has a great one. And then the other one that I was drinking this weekend was Dogberries. Their anniversary barley wine is always fun for me. Julia says it started as a joke and turned into a dark truth. Yes, it did. I hope everybody listens to that show and knows what we're talking about, because that was a great moment. Let's go Cincy Winter Beer Fest before we move on with some of the anniversary talk. I am not going. I have not gone to Cincy Beer Fest in a very long time. Truth be told, I don't really go to a lot of beer festivals for lots of reasons. Lately, the biggest one has just been time. Trying to scratch out the time on a weekend, especially where we can do something like that, or I can do something like that, is very difficult. There's just a lot of things going on, and this weekend we have several events, including a birthday party for one of my children. So it's going to be a little busy. It's going to be a hectic weekend, as it always is. Isn't that kind of the whole game these days? Is just chaos, right? Don't we always talk about that? So no, I will not be going, despite the fact that I would like to. I would like to make it 2 more festivals, but it's got to be something pretty unique or special or exciting to get me to clear space on the calendar just for it. And unfortunately, most festivals just kind of don't scratch that itch for me. I did have a really, really fun conversation that I can't get too far into details with somebody about the idea they were having for an event that is one of the most exciting ideas that I've heard in a very long time, that hopefully comes to be, because it is absolutely brilliant, and I wish I'd come up with it because it's so good. There's plenty of things that I am working on that are also fun, but not ready to dive into any of that stuff yet. But it's good stuff. Just make sure you're paying attention on all of the social medias and all of the things that I would use to talk about things as they pop up, because when I can, I'll definitely talk about them. So just I use all of that to say, just stay tuned. I promise there's things in the works. There's always things that I'm working on. I just can't always talk about what those things are. So stay tuned. I mentioned Dogberry. I did get to stop out at Dogberry, ran into Julia and Josh there, got to have a few beers, kind of in between several different things that were going on. That I had their way too over the top on the tart cherry, and it was not. It was still big, malty, earthy. It was a good beer. And then they also did a habanero version of some of the things that I like and don't like. I don't typically really well balanced, which I think is hard with too far one way or the other. Much like which I'm not just talking about breweries that I work with, but I have to legally mention that, I believe, anytime I'm talking about somebody that I work with. It's a very strange head. But if you haven't been there, go there. And they're kind of flying under the... So, this weekend, swine right at the end of the night. There is something about that tap room that I just really, really enjoy. There's like a personality to it and a vibe to it that I found a couple good as far as seltzer goes. Oak-aged Brett process. Every once in a tart, it is definitely there's some funk going. They did some fruited versions of it too. There was an orange, maybe I'm making that up, a couple bottles of it too. So hopefully in the very near future, we'll do just a quick little video tasting one of those bottles, and then we'll stash. I have kind of a weird, there are two main styles of beer that you'll stash some away in there. And then Imperial Stouts. I do have a lot of Imperial Stouts, but that's more, I think overflow them all right now. But the sours, yeah, if I don't have week with horrible heartburn, but I love them. There is some fruited stuff in there from Urban, and there's what else is there? Some barley. Can't think of much else off the top of my head. That's pretty much it. But yeah, there's an entire shelf just full of unfruited beer just laying around here. I have a whole shelf sitting there of like. It was so Saturday night. If anybody remembers, it was raining, and when I stopped at Swine, there was first when I was walking out in the back, kind of their yard area there. Well, man, that sucks. I got some drainage going on now. Well, when I went, so it was a little damp in there. The vibe, tap room a lot, and so I hit it. As far as I know, maybe I've heard about them and just kind of forgot about them because there's so many breweries around. But I saw that they were launching a GoFundMe account, and kind of wanted to got. They are, I hope I'm saying that right. If not, I apologize to all of the Ravinians. They are being sued by a festival lawsuit that they are other things, and without disclosing, they're still using the name Ravinia BC, which is Ravinia Brewing Company. 20 miles away in Logan, it is public record that Ravinia Brewing License and Food Service Life Festival, not after, to stop manufacturing. It keeps lagging out for several of us, and yeah, let me close the chat and open it back up and see if that helps. Makes me. It's always hard to tell. It's like an internet issue, I think. We don't want to do that. That's all that I'm. Anyways, this Ravinia file first filed in like this different version businesses. It's really curious to see. I'm seeing the internet, guys. I'm sorry. Much I can do about it. Rolling the word right. Stay tuned for more properly. Your eye on, because the creation that came out this weekend. I will definitely be talking about that very near in the future here. There is also Urban Artifact. Get my hands on that and try about placing payments on for anybody who doesn't care to fresh corner is Urban. To share it with everybody, 4% malted barley. Pre-order your bottle. They release on March 1st. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. We'll call that the internet. So next week, because in studio, you can support that way. And internet, a big satellite dish. I'm gonna do that. Satellites for all.